The previous class we had talked about the structure of eye lens and the various components of human eye. Today we are going to learn about the defects of vision. So before going for the defects of vision, first let us see how a human eye adjusts to see the distant and nearby objects clearly. And the previous class we have learned that the human eye is made of fibrous jelly-like material. The convex lens of that eye, of a human eye, and its curvature can be adjusted by a muscle called ciliary muscles. When the muscles are relaxed, then the curvature of the eye lens is small and the eye lens become thin. So the focal length of the eye will be high, so that the eye can see the distant objects clearly. But when these ciliary muscles are relaxed, the curvature of the human eye become more or large, so that the eye lens become thick, so the focal length of the eye become small, so it can see the nearby objects clearly. In that way, a human eye adjusts itself to see or to focus on nearby and far away objects to see them clearly. And this is made possible by the structure like ciliary muscles, and this ability of the human eye to adjust its focal length so that it can focus on the objects on the various distance, nearby and far away objects clearly, is called or known as the power of accommodation of human eye. The near point of an eye is 25 centimeter from the eye lens, or any objects that is placed minimum 25 centimeter from the eye lens can be seen clearly by a human eye, or anything comes in between this length may not be visible clearly by a human eye. And the far point of the human eye is infinity, or any object that is distant or placed infinitely can be visible by a human eye. The near point is known as the least distinct vision of a human eye. The farthest point up to which a human eye can see a object clearly is known as far point of a human eye, which is infinity. And now let us see what are the main defects of vision. Here, mainly there are three types of defects of vision for a human eye. And the first is myopia. And what do you mean by myopia, and what is the reason for a myopic eye and how it can be corrected? And these points we are going to discuss in this session. And let us see. Myopia is also known as short-sightedness or nearsightedness. And in this condition, a human eye can see the nearby objects clearly, but a distant objects cannot be seen clearly. And what is its reason for the condition? And let us see what is this condition. For a normal eye, okay, see this is the far point of eye, and the rays which are coming from the far point of the eye. So we know that the near point of eye and far point of eye. So and these rays are exactly converge at a point where on the retina, and which is act as a screen, and the light rays coming from the object from a far point. The far point means that it is not too far, it may be a length anything beyond 2 meter or 6 meter is also considered as a far point for a human eye. So let us see and here this is far point of the eye, and here the near point of the eye. Okay, so here the ciliary muscles are not doing anything to adjust the focal length of the eye. So these light rays which are coming from, that is far point of the eye, and which is converged at a point on the retina, so that the retina will form a clear image of the object, and that images or signals are sent to the brain to analyze. And here, but what happens in a myopic eye? So any distance or the light rays which are coming from far away objects, and we know that they are parallel. Okay, and these parallel rays are converged by the lens, and which is focused or converged at a point just in front of the retina. And to get a clear image of the object, the light rays has to converge a point on the retina. But here what happens? These light rays which are coming from far away objects, they are almost parallel each other, as we know. But these eye lenses are unable to convert these light rays on the retina, but in front of the retina. So the image formed by the myopic eye will be blurred. It is not clear. Okay, this is happening due to the excessive curvature of the eye lens. Due to the excessive curvature of this eye lens, the eye lens is unable to produce a clear image on the retina. And also another reason for this myopic eye is the elongation of eyeball. The eyeball is elongated, then so that the eye lens is unable to produce an image on the retina, so that the eye is unable to see the clear object clearly from a far away point. So how it can be corrected? So how it is happening, we know. Here, for example, here the angle of deviation is a 15 degree. Okay, and again, but when it comes to this myopic eye, and here the angle of deviation is 15 degree to get a clear image on the retina. But here this angle of deviation become 20 degree. Okay, for example, 20 degree. Here actually what it is near 15 degree. But here it become 20 degree. That means that due to the excessive deviation of convergence of this rays, then what happens? It does not reach the retina, and it will they will intersect each other a point in front of the retina, so that the clear image cannot be produced on the retina. So how it can be corrected then? So here what is the difference? The difference between this angle of deviation is 5 degree. Okay, so it can be corrected. How these rays, light rays, are coming from a far away object. So, and before these rays coming from the object, okay, and if these rays are a little bit diverged, okay, diverged, and then it is incident on the eye lens, then it may exactly produce or intersect a point on the retina. So what need to do? So there is a divergent lens, okay, can be placed in front of the eye lens, so that what happens? These incident rays will be slightly diverged, by the diverging lens, so that it will be exactly converged at a point on the retina, so that a clear image can be produced. So here that means this diverging lens diverge these rays 5 degree and incident on the convex lens. What is myopic eye? The myopic eye is unable to see the far away objects clearly. And what is the reason for this myopic eye? It is due to the excessive curvature of the eyelens or the elongation of the eyeball. So the eyelens is unable to produce a clear image on the retina, but in front of the retina. So therefore a clear image, or a person who is suffering from myopia cannot see the distant objects clearly but nearby objects clearly. And this can be corrected by placing a concave lens in front of the retina, and that diverges the incident rays first, and then the eye lens will converge the incident rays to a point on the retina so that a clear image will be obtained. Then another defect of vision is hypermetropia. And what do you mean by hypermetropia? Hypermetropia is a defect of vision by which a human eye cannot see the nearby objects clearly but can see a far away objects clearly. And this is therefore is also known as a long sightedness or far sightedness of human eye. So what are the reasons for this hypermetropia and how it can be corrected? So what is hypermetropia? Inability of a human eye to see nearby objects clearly but can see the far away objects clearly. And what are its reasons? Why this human eye is unable to see the nearby objects clearly? Because the light rays coming from a nearby object cannot focus on the retina. Okay, that is why the reason. And why it is cannot obtain on the retina? Because it is due to the focal length of the eye lens is too long. The eyeball become too small. Okay, the first reason is focal length is too long, and second is eyeball become too small. These are the two reasons. And how does it affect? When this focal length of the eye lens is too long, then the curvature of the eye lens is small. Okay, the curvature is small, then the focal length is long. This is the near point of the human eye, and the light rays which are coming from the object and converged by the lens and exactly on the point retina. So this is how the image is obtained for a normal eye. So if here the another point n dash, okay, so if the object is kept in at the point n dash, what is happening? Then the eye lens is unable to focus on the object kept at the distance n dash. Okay, see now if this is the point n dash and the eye lens, the rays are coming from the object. So after the refraction, what is happening? These rays are unable to focus or unable to produce an image on the retina but behind the retina. So therefore these eye lens cannot see the nearby objects clearly. But the image or the light rays coming from far away objects can be easily converge a point on the retina so that the clear image can be obtained. So the eye is able to see the distant objects clearly. But an object is kept at a near point is unable to focus on the retina, so that a clear image cannot be obtained. So how it can be corrected? So here the convergence of the rays are not sufficient. Okay, the converging power of the lens is either weak or the curvature of the eye lens is small. That is why the eye lens is unable to focus this lens or the rays on the retina. The object is kept at n dash, and here these rays are coming from the objects. Now here, if a convex lens of suitable power is kept here in front of the eye lens, what will happen? This convex lens will converge these rays slightly, and then the eye lens will be converge them again exactly on the retina, so that a clear image will be obtained on the retina, and then the eye, a human eye, will be able to see the nearby objects clearly. Okay, so how it can be correct? The correction is by placing a convex lens of suitable power by placing a suitable power of convex lens, this defect of vision can be corrected. So we have seen that the power of accommodation of a human eye decreasing with the age. And what is power of accommodation? The ability of the human eye to adjust its focal length. So for most people, the near point gradually recedes away. That means they find it very difficult to see the nearby objects clearly, and they even cannot see the far away objects without a correcting lens. Such a condition of human eye is known as presbyopia. And this condition of human eye arises due to the weak ciliary muscles due to the aging. It also reduces the flexibility of the eye lens. So this causes the hypermetropia. And sometimes a person may suffer both of the defect of vision, such as myopia and hypermetropia. In such a case, they need a bifocal length to correct their defects of vision. From the previous cases, we have learned that a myopic eye cannot see the distant objects clearly, and a hypermetropic eye cannot see the nearby objects clearly. So if we use a bifocal length, a combination of a convex and concave lens, okay, so this is a bifocal length. A concave lens correct the myopic defect, and a convex lens correct the hypermetropic defect. So a bifocal length can correct both the myopic and hypermetropic defects of vision. A person, if a person is suffering from both the defects of vision.